And some breaking news coming in on the big story we're tracking from the Supreme Court. More trouble in store for cricket czar N. Srinivasan. The Supreme Court, in its hearing on the Mudgal report today, has asked N. Srinivasan to prove how there was no conflict of interest. The Supreme Court has said that his role as team owner was directly in conflict with his role as a cricket administrator. The court has in fact asked why the BCCI has not disenfranchised the Chennai team despite all the controversies. The Apex Court has also sought details of Srinivasan's company, India Cements, and has specifically sought details about who approved a decision to invest 400 crore in the Chennai team. Joining me live at this point in time is my colleague Jugal Purohit from the Supreme Court, also Rasesh Mandani, who's joining us live from Mumbai, and Shishir Hatangi, who's joining us live from Ahmedabad. I'd like to go across to you, Jugal, first. The Supreme Court had used, very strong words in a scathing attack against N. Srinivasan in the past, directly establishing the fact that there is, in fact, a conflict of interest. What has the court said today?
Well, the court has, absolutely, one can say, taken off from where it left on Tuesday, and the news which was initially in that innocuous petition in the Bombay High Court in June 2013 has actually taken it further, and the news is actually tightening around the neck of Narayanaswamy Srinivasan and the functionaries of the BCCI. Several things coming into question, including the decision of India Cements. The board of director details who decided to invest 400 crores into the entire issue. Gurunath Mayappan's role, the Supreme Court has implied that whether he may not be the owner, but due to his unique position, was he or was he not in a controlling position of the Chennai Super Kings team management. The court has also spoken about, the aspect of just why should the Chennai Super Kings not be disenfranchised. So a lot of things coming under question. One must not, however, forget the larger picture, which is that the petitioner in this case, Aditya Verma, has sought that apart from all of these issues, there should be a complete disclosure of the report which involves the names of the cricket players. Till now, the matter has been about N. Srinivasan, the BCCI, the functionaries, the officials. The players are also now under scrutiny.
Absolutely.
And it's that aspect which is now being fought behind me in the Supreme Court, and we are expecting perhaps that the Supreme Court will also take a call on that. Back to you.
All right, the trouble is mounting for N. Srinivasan with every passing day that the Supreme Court in fact hears that matter. But the big question, like Jugal is pointing out, is also will the names of those players in fact be revealed? I'd like to get in a quick word from Rasesh Mandani here. Rasesh, the Supreme Court says that identify the board members of the CSK. They say they've asked N. Srinivasan who authorized the 400 crore investment. They've also said that Gurunath Mayappan may not be an owner, but he is indirectly involved. Given these circumstances, the BCCI still goes ahead and pushes that AGM, which is against the constitution of the BCCI. BCCI clearly throwing their weight behind N. Srinivasan despite the fact that the Apex Court continues to target and corner him.
Well, that's what they've continued to do, astoundingly. There was a working committee meeting only a few days ago where the BCCI unanimously decided to back Srinivasan. Not just that, they decided to back Sundaraman as well, convinced with his defense. That is something that the BCCI is going to do. The numbers are with N. Srinivasan. Internally, that is the arrangement. But I think this is the strongest one has heard the Apex Court go as far as, the issue is concerned, talking about the root cause of the problem, bringing out the conflict of interest issue again. Remember, there was only a passing reference to it in the final report of the Justice Mudgal Committee. It was mentioned in greater detail in the interim report that was mentioned. But Supreme Court asking specific questions, specifically how Srinivasan would be in a position to terminate the Chennai Super King franchise when he has an interest in that franchise, when he owns that franchise, and India Cements owns that franchise. So I think that is a pertinent point that the Supreme Court is asking, and the BCCI is having to do a lot of defending. This was, of course, in the aftermath of an amendment which was made at a time when Sharad Pawar was the president. So I think as far as the BCCI is concerned, they have been given a very comfortable position to Srinivasan. Now Apex Court is asking some very difficult questions of him.
Well, absolutely. The Apex Court asking difficult questions of N. Srinivasan, and of course there will be difficult questions that will be asked of the BCCI as well, given the fact that the BCCI is not yet under the ambit of the RTI. Well, that's a separate controversy. Shishir, I'd like to get you in at this point in time. Harsh words from the Supreme Court. Does this not make the position of N. Srinivasan untenable? Also, Chennai Super Kings been disenfranchised. What do you make of the developments in the court today?
If I was BCCI at this stage, I wouldn't be happy with the tone of and the way the apex court is going about this, because it puts you very much on the defensive. Defensive because the last thing on their minds would have been issues like conflict of interest, which is known to everybody. I mean,
Right.
Everybody. An amended clause in 2004, in a couple of years ago, if I'm right, which paved the way for Srinivasan, cleared the decks in a sense
Right.
for him to be a owner of a team. So the path that the apex court has taken would obviously embarrass the BCCI, because they would have expected that him being cleared because of no direct charges of match fixing and betting to contest the election, which is primarily why they are involved and so deeply involved in this fight. But just now it seems that that the apex court is keen and determined to get to the bottom of every issue, and in a sense giving the legal counsel a lot to think about at this stage.
Well, absolutely, giving the legal counsel a lot to think about. All eyes will be on the Supreme Court.